I am not against valid criticism. I enjoy getting it, in all honesty. There is always something that can be done better, and I am actually a fan of learning. So let's see if these critiques are valid and how I will proceed going forward. I believe a bit of backstory is in order. It started with me scrolling through Reddit and seeing a post on YouTubers. I'm on these subreddits to pick up any advice that I could possibly use, but that's besides the point. The title of the post that I found was VTubers, PNG tubers and other people who create YouTube videos using a drawn avatar I want to review and give feedback on your channel. As mentioned, any critique is good in my opinion. One can always choose to ignore or implement it anyhow, so I decided to read as I fall into what is said in the title. The post very roughly read: I'm a VTuber and have created content since 2022, uploaded 1,000 videos. I want to share my perspective on your channel as a fellow VTuber and person who watches VTubers. I would love to review them, and I would also do a stream for the 1,000th where I review the videos. If you're interested, leave a link in the comments. So I decided to do so, not to mention I also watched the other people reviewed to see if I managed to learn more. Take a guess why I enjoy the YTFA podcast that my friends make so much. I have the okay to use the clip from Q as I asked if I can use the clip from the stream, and they were okay with it, as you see here. I also have to mention that I already have made videos that are scheduled to come out until October, I believe at this point now, so it may actually take a bit for changes to actually happen, as changing them isn't possible anymore. Not to mention all of this is too long just with a single comment by my private channel under a video. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get into it, as you know how it happened, and it is not really random.
As I was saying, I'm not going to watch the entire video, I'm just going to watch bits of it, so I can give a bit of advice and guidance, because I'm not doing React content here. I'm doing basically a channel/video review. So let's view critique. So I want to look for places I can give advice. Now let's start this off.
I was always interested in the Blue Hedgehog. Let's see if Sonic Frontiers is a good start to the Sonic franchise, much to the dismay of people that asked about it.
Okay, the first things I see here is a very strong synthwavy aesthetic, and that can carry you very well. The first few seconds of a video, that part is called the hook, and that's the part where you have your maximum number of retention. That's where everybody's looking. So as they click on, they'll see the first few seconds, and they might click off to watch something else if they're not hooked in at that point. So that's the point where you really want to concentrate your attention-getting ability. And honestly, I have problems doing that myself. And this hook is not too bad. It introduces the main concept of this video. I want to understand how good Sonic is as a newbie. That's good. Let's keep listening. Okay.
The only Sonic game I've played before is a demo of Sonic Boom.
Now, here's a little bit of an issue that I'm hearing, is that the S sounds are coming out quite strongly, and they're almost to the point of distraction, and they might be coming over each other. There's a couple of things you can do for that. Part of that is you can do warm-up exercises with your voice, which can help, mic placement, and also you can investigate using a bit of software called a de-esser, which helps remove the amount of S sounds you get, because they can be distracting.
The first few seconds are indeed important, which is why I explain what I do in the video or give a brief explanation how I know the topic. I really like to do it this way, as to show I know something without having to go on a detour in the middle of the video. I addressed this in the comment under the stream, yet I repeat here, as I don't think just referring to a comment is any good. The S sound is sharply spoken in Austria, where I live, and German being my mother tongue makes it hard for me not to do so. I will try to pronounce it better, yet I do not know if I can promise to do so all the time. I did not know about any de-esser, which if it continues to be at the severe level that it is at the moment, I may actually look into.
Let's go through here. Now you remain on one scene for about half a minute, and then you've gone on to gameplay, I think. That's a nice smooth transition, and also they've gone and kept with the momentum of the scene. So if you look at the scene here, there's movement from left to right in the start, and when they've gone into their transition, they've gone in the opposite direction. So I think it would be a little bit more artistically and fulfilling if when they went into this transition, they actually moved from right to left, so they would keep with the momentum of the scene they're coming into. So you don't, it's not as jagged, but a very cute thing. Now they've gone into a...
And as always, it's made
They've made use of the same transition here, but it's actually very fast, that one. Almost feeling like a jump cut. So if you've already established a certain speed of a transition, you might want to keep at that same speed to sort of like create a language of your editing.
And Frontiers released 8.
Yep, good use of a lower third here. And you'll notice that this lower third has enough space for the actual YouTube interface, and it's not sitting inside it. That is very mindful of the medium that you're in. There we go.
I did not pay much attention to the momentum. I will try to keep it in mind where I can going forward, yet sometimes the fitting clip is not that workable with that premise. The transitions are about 1 second long, which I try to have every time I use it, yet if the clip or how fast I talk don't work with it, I am forced to shorten it. The text banner being that way is actually a funny coincidence, as the red and blue colors are part of my branding, which is why I chose it. I am glad it worked out this way, and it also just looks pleasing in the video itself, even without the bar of YouTube. So you get access after the tutorial and free Amy and chat with her. And we have to help her
using various different...
all you need to know for the story, plus you should experience it for yourself.
Yep, you're getting these sort of like emotions in there. What I'm noticing here is they've got a larger use of their avatar, and then they shrunk it down later on.
It's a good story from what I'm trying to style.
I'm not sure if that's being used stylistically, or if it's actual... It's just that particular one is smaller, but maybe if we watch it a little bit more, we'll get to that.
The size change of the avatar is an attempt to do two things. One, to show the awkwardness of the situation further beyond the still, as well as to show more of the gameplay.
I'm noticing that the avatar isn't on the screen at the same time. Hold on. Why is the audio different here? Maybe there's an explanation.
Even if I hated it, although I absolutely love Big Cat. Oh my god!
Okay, I had to edit. Help you see if it wasn't funny. The audio quality here is a bit different. I'm thinking it's being used as a narrative technique, but it's harder to hear, honestly.
The fact that my avatar is not on the screen is as I use audio from my raw gameplay footage and not a voiceover. Since I use the same mic for both, it is hard to hear the difference and sounds like I'm doing a voiceover and not like I'm using raw footage, which is why I applied a radio effect. This sadly makes it quieter, which I somehow didn't really notice when watching the footage during editing and after it rendered before uploading. I don't know how that happened. I'll make it louder next time as to keep the audio level and make it easier to understand, as I will keep this effect going forward to differentiate between voiceover and actual gameplay footage. The world is way too open for my taste, to the point where it is empty, which...
It's all in all a good video. I think it needs to be a little bit faster paced and a little bit more energetic and a little bit more emotional, so we can feel as well as hear how you are feeling about this particular subject. But all in all, good bit of work.
I get that my content is slow paced. The issue is, if I were to make it faster, my videos would have half the substance or length. Not that I care about the latter anyhow. I would not manage to keep my style consistent with faster pacing, and I am a very calm and rational person besides that. I am in no ways unemotional, yet clearly I do not show enough of them in my videos, as I want to keep it somewhat professional, as it is mostly reviews where I don't know how much room there is for emotions. All of this not to mention that I'm not a fan of fast-paced videos, as they just ruin my attention span, and I'm especially looking at TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and a very big channel on this platform, which I may or may not have a video in the works about.
Let's have a look just at the channel itself. Let's have a look at the thumbnail used. I'm not liking the thumbnail as much. One of the problems this thumbnail has, as well as these few, is you notice down in the right-hand lower corner is the time bug, which tells you how long it's going. And you've got writing that goes over that time bug. So it interferes with that. So you want to put your writing so it doesn't get at the same spot as that time bug.
The thumbnails could be seen as a complex topic in all honesty, but the brief rundown is I was hired as a voice actor, and the guy who hired me ended up becoming a friend of mine, and I hired him to be my artist. He draws all the thumbnails as of the Ad Infinitum video, I think, and all the art of this channel is made by him, which includes the stills, the banner, the intro logo, basically everything, except the small outro thing that I'll quickly put up here, because that's still my shitty artwork. But that's besides the point. I really like what it does, and I am glad it came to be this way. Now, since I do not have anything to do with the thumbnail composition or creation really, other than me telling the artist what to do, and I just give him vague details since I want him to be as creative as he's able to be. The time bug is something both of us totally forgot about, and it's gonna change. I'm really sorry. I totally forgot about it, and it is more on me for not mentioning it when I hired him. But seriously, I love working with him. Great guy, amazing artist. Check him out in the description as always. Whenever a video of mine comes up, I do something for me, I have his links down in the description.
Just saying Sonic Frontiers on here, and then Sonic Frontiers as a Sonic newbie, that's kind of redundant, and you're not making full use of everything you've got here. If you've got Sonic Frontiers in your thumbnail, and you want that to be the key thing, you probably want to go less Sonic Frontiers as a Sonic newbie, and say something like, I played this Sonic game as a newbie, here's what I learned. That type of feeling. So that's our first person who offered themselves up for review.
My videos are pure game reviews, which makes it hard to change titles to things like this, as I do not comment on my journey through the game, as they aren't that interesting as is visible in my streams. That is why I give them titles that work. Yet I will try to give them more substance, since that is, I think, what Q actually meant. I like making videos like this when I'm critiqued. It allows me to fully put all my thoughts in one place and allows me to fully reevaluate it and further see what I can change. I'm glad people review my channel and say what they think can be improved. Sadly, it is always the pacing, which I don't know how to do as mentioned before. I will try to make the gameplay footage where I talk louder, change the thumbnail slightly, and try and get better titles. I am glad that people think my videos are good, as that's a big part of why I enjoy this much and something I'm always nervous about, especially when views drop. If you made it to the end of the video here, leave a like, kind of been that awful, right? Though check out my reviews too. I haven't said that in so long that it feels weird. We kinda do reviews a lot here. And subscribe if you like my style of content. Check out my socials too, links in the description. Yet that is sadly all I have the time for now. And with that, sayonara and ciao, Kuro.